We are live, Paul Chatlin.
Hi, Meryl.
Hey, Paul. So here we are. We are at, I don't know, let's call it day 10 of our Sage Circle Alliance Charter Member Drive. And today it's Paul and Meryl, as well as a couple other of our founding members. And we'll have some scintillating, lively conversation around the subject of today. Today, the subject is diversity, a subject near and dear to my heart. What do you say, Paul, about that sort of stuff?
Well, I just want to welcome all Sagers that are out there. And diversity is vital for growth, is just vital to grow. And that's the thing that you'll appreciate with the Sage Circle Alliance is that we welcome everyone, anyone. So jump on board. Join us.
All right. We have coming on right now, Bryan Dennstedt. I'm going to add you to the stage, sir. Hey, Bryan.
Hey, how's it going, team? Great to see you.
Hi, Bryan.
See you too. So wait. We have to start with Bryan just brought a new life to the world. He and his wife, not to mention, we don't want to forget the wife. She's a big part of it. Like 9 months worth of the, whole thing.
That's right.
How's everybody doing? How's the fam?
They're doing great. Yeah. Her name is Yulia, and she is our little bundle of joy, and she's celebrating her 1 week birthday today. So
how are the girls dealing with that?
They're doing great. Yeah, they love it. Yeah, they're having fun.
They're not like poking her, saying, "You're alive." Like what?
We definitely have to practice being quiet because the baby's sleeping. They're 6 and 7, so they're rambunctious and wanna hold her and come up close and kiss her and all that kind of stuff. And we're like, well, did you wash your hands and all that kind of stuff? But yeah, we're settling in nicely. So thanks for asking.
Yeah,
we're so happy for you.
Yeah. Congratulations. So maybe we should introduce ourselves just for anybody who hasn't been watching for the previous 10 days. Maybe there's somebody who's brand new to this structure. So I'll go first. My name is Meryl Fury. I am a registered nurse and I am co-founder of the Sage Circle Alliance. And when I'm not doing that, which pretty much takes at least 35 hours a week, when I'm not doing that, I am being president and CEO of Plant-Based Nutrition Movement, which is a 501c3 that's all dedicated to helping people eat healthier all the time. And we mostly focused on children. I will hand it off to Paul.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. My name is Paul Chatlin, and I am the founder of the Plant-Based Nutrition Support Group. And we are the only national support group for lifestyle change. Come join us. And I'm also the co-founder, along with Meryl, for the Sage Circle Alliance. And I am absolutely honored to, and I call a friend. Bryan, would you kind of introduce all the things that you are up to these days?
For sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I am Bryan Dennstedt. I help run the Real Men Eat Plants podcast, trying to help bring more men to the plant-based lifestyle. But we recently sort of incorporated as Real People Eat Plants, and we have a few other podcasts helping businesses learn and grow how to get tips and tricks on their plant-based entrepreneurship journey on that front. So you can check that out with Plant-Based on Fire podcast. But I am a fractional chief technology officer, so I sort of lead teams of computer nerds on how to craft the right vision and journey for companies. So I've been primarily in the healthcare space. I was with MD Live Telemedicine, and that was quite the fun rocket ship and blew up. And so now I just do fractional chief technology officer type work. And so I come into different companies and help them out a few hours a week or a few hours a month to help them drive forward their companies and make sure their team is heading in the right direction. So and I've had just a ton of fun working with you guys both on the website. So we've been able to pull together a really great website and showcase that out. And so I think we've got some great features there with the membership directory and the speakers bureau and a few other things that are going to help provide some awesome insight into what we do and what we're trying to accomplish with the Sage Circle Alliance. So thanks for letting me be a part of that and help drive that forward.
Yeah, let me just throw something to everybody who's watching. I was speaking with somebody and they said, well, tell me the uniqueness of the Sage Circle Alliance. What's unique about it? And the first thing I thought about was, I said, if you're a young entrepreneur, you have a real strong desire to bring planetary awareness or animal compassion or human health to the marketplace, but you just don't know how to create an awareness, a website, a social media. I said, you could join us at the Sage Circle Alliance and we'll introduce you to Bryan and his entire team. And they said, well, why do you speak so fondly of him? I said, well, because we lean on him for all the things I'm suggesting. Take a look, like our resume is Bryan's resume. I just say, take a look at us. And this is what Bryan and his team has done. And it's very unique to incorporate that into an organization as a very key, important spoke as we introduce the Sage Circle Alliance to the world. So, Bryan, great job. Really. Your team is.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure working with them, and they're very, very talented people guided by you. I appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah. There are so many things that, okay, I'm saying this tongue in cheek. There's a lot of things Paul and I can do, but manage a website and all that tech stuff is not part of it. That does not fall in our wheelhouse at all.
Hey, Meryl, what would you say? Like, there's things that we can do, but we don't like to do. And there's things that we can't do and don't like to do. That is it right there. It's like, I'm so lucky because it's like, hey, it would take me forever to be able to create this stuff.
Impossible. And, actually, we don't have that much. Yeah, we don't have that much time to make that. No, that's just and you have it nailed. So
yeah, I think we've had a few speed bumps over the way, but I think the website is looking really, really good, and it's going to get better as we go. I just got an email from the software that we're using, and they've got some other really cool features coming out. So I'm excited to share those with you. And I think it's that cause for the greater good, right? I mean, because I think, you want to find people that are experts in what they do for whatever you're working on. And you want to find people that are passionate about that. So I think that's one of the secret hidden ingredients of what I've seen with the Sage Circle Alliance is we're all coming together and bringing the thing or two that we're really good at to the group. And we're all just so passionate about trying to ring that bell and just wake up the rest of the planet to what's happening here. The planet is going down the drain quickly. We've got to fix that. We've got to end the animal suffering, and we've got to make ourselves healthier and live longer. And all three of those things are accomplished with what we're trying to do. So it's just such a great cause to rally and hang out with some people. And I've learned so much from you guys along the past 6 months or so with all the chats that we've had in the evenings on different ways that we have some expertise there. So thanks.
So true. So that leads us really nicely into today's subject, which is diversity. There's the typical way we think of diversity, which is, mostly we look at racial diversity, right? But of course, diversity is a way bigger subject than that. It includes age, and it includes gender, and it includes, for me, skill set and, how you process things. So let's talk a little bit about that. What do you see in our...
Hey, Meryl, are you in some wind area right now?
Oh, you know what? I'm sitting outside, so
yeah,
it may be kind of breezy. You know what? I can go get a microphone set. So I'll leave you with this, and you guys can talk about it.
We could hammer it out. We could talk.
Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit about what's the kind of diversity that we see right now within the Sage Circle Alliance membership. And I am going to step off and go find something and make a better mic now. Better audio. There we go.
Hey, Bryan, do you want to start or can I start? Would you mind if I started?
Yeah, go right ahead.
I appreciate that. So to me, as Meryl kind of had me tunnel into the people that are founding members of the Sage Circle Alliance. And I'm fortunate to know all of them. And, be it for a short amount of time, many for a very long amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And we really do have the colors of the rainbow. I mean, it's people who are like me, whole food, plant-based, no oil. It is people who are vegan and animal compassion people. It is people who care about the planet. It is a combination of younger, older. It's a combination of different religions. It's a combination of different female, male. So, it's a huge variety of, I call it like the Sage Circle line is like a melting pot of diversity. And, I think the way I, as a co-founder and somebody who's intimate with this organization and people, it is true. I look at people, I don't care if they have a degree or not. I used to laugh all the time when I would speak and I would say, I'm the only person speaking that doesn't have an initial at the end of my name.
Right.
And people would say, well, it's really, but I've got a story. I have a story. And, I just look at people that are part of the Sage Circle as kind, compassionate, hardworking people who have the same similar values that I do of trying to make a difference.
Yeah.
So that's my idea of diversity. And I think we have it at the Sage Circle Alliance.
I see that in spades here on all fronts. And I think, but I guess I want to flip the question around on you old white guys here at the Sage Circle Alliance, right? And that's pretty much in business. That's what the driving force is on that front. And I don't think I was ever super close to the diversity and inclusion pieces of this until I read, I think it was Sheryl Sandberg's book, the COO of Facebook, called Lean In. And it really, as I read that book, and it unlocked certain things for me, to see a CEO say, well, I'll get the girls to do it, kind of a thing, when instead of I'll get the team to do it. If he was addressing a group of men, he would say, I'll get the team to do it. If he's addressing the team of women, he would say, I'll get the girls to do it. And so it went off for me on what it is and how I think I'm pretty adept at it. I guess I didn't realize how good I was at it, being more politically correct and helping to make sure I foster a sense of community with the teams that I work with. But I think the other thing that tied into this is as I went vegan, I realized that now I am in a minority myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the Sage Circle Alliance is probably 80% women. We need to get more men into this fold with us to a degree. But at the same time, it was like the first time I really realized that I'm now a minority myself to a degree, because my friends and family are going to pick on me for not having a cheeseburger at the dinner table with them and all that kind of stuff. So it's really interesting to see how I figured out some of my identity and stuff like that, but how we're trying to at least shine the spotlight on it with the Sage Circle Alliance, and how we're trying to get more and more people to come into this kind of lifestyle mentality thought process so that we aren't a minority anymore. We're now mainstream. This is where it has to go, or in my opinion, we're headed for extreme climate disaster for my brand new daughter and my grandchildren. You know what I mean? So we've got to become the majority pretty darn quick.
Yeah, no, I agree. And what's interesting is, I'm part of your Real Men Eat Plants. Mm-hmm. And and I've had 12 years of experience of running live events with the Plant-Based Nutrition Support Group. And when I would look into the audience, it was majority women, and it was a majority of older people, for the most part. And I think that might change today, because I think that younger people are a little more in tune with what's going on, maybe not with the animal compassion as much as the planet,
mm-hmm.
But the thing I think about it quite a bit, Bryan, is that we're just two guys. That's
mm-hmm.
it. Okay.
Right.
And I can't get in my canoe row across the ocean and pick up all the plastic and the pollution that's in the ocean. And I can't, take a walk and spray paint animals so people don't use them for bad reasons, or go into one of the animal factories and just it's tough to even walk up to one with the smell. But the point being is that I think you and I were just telling people that we just want to do our part. We just want to do our part. I wish I could have a magic wand or a crystal ball and say, if you do your part and Meryl does hers and I do my part, let's fast forward. Can we make a difference in the next, for me, probably in the next 15, 20 years? For you, it could be 40 years. Are we going to make a difference? And whether we can or we cannot, I think for me, it's vital that I stay on course and do the best I can. And the way I think the three of us have collaborated is through the Sage Circle Alliance, because we want this diversity. We want to have like-minded. I use that word quite a bit, but these are some of the kindest people I've met. And these are people that want to make a difference. So like I said, I understood long ago that I'm just one person, but if everyone was just one person and wanted to make this world a better place, then the world would be a better place.
That's right. Yeah, I echo that completely. It's that interesting thing that we try to really showcase, how we can be, how does change happen in the world, right? And the two primary drivers of change are voting with your dollars. So every time you pull out your wallet or your handbag to pay for something, you're making a decision to support that industry, that paradigm. And then secondly is really your value system. Like, what is your value system? Because almost every person I speak to, there's no way that they would ever kill an animal. Like they couldn't do it. Like they said, go kill that cat or go kill that cow. It doesn't matter. They couldn't do it. Yet they vote all the time with their wallets to do it. So like you have to figure out what your values are and really stick to them on that front. And I guess, that's what I've seen. Like we've had the Sage Circle Alliance meetings for the past, 9 months now or something as we've been preparing.
It'll be 1 year on May 17th. How about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
So we had these first events. It all started with you dropping a little note out to a whole bunch of us that were passionate about it and replied, in my opinion. And then to see the diversity and the gamut of people that you've been able to pull in, some big name celebrities, just so many entrepreneurs that are just passionate about what they're doing. And like you said, it's from people from all walks of life that have identified their moral value and their moral compass, and they're trying to live by that every single day that they can. And I think, you were saying, how can I make a difference in the world? But like, I hope I make more of a difference as I go forward, but I can sit here and say that because I created the Real Men Eat Plants podcast, I have helped change at least 3 or 4 people's lives, if not more than that, on that front. And you have been running PBNSG for years, so you have got to have a tally count in at least the hundreds, if not thousands. I commend you on your efforts.
11,940.
That is amazing. So
like I got a little tick chart. For 12 years of work, I've had that many people who have said thank you. And to me, Bryan, it's interesting because to me it's like seed planting. And I'll use my family as an example. So in my family, I've got first of all, everyone in my family and extended family and friends know about the benefits of lifestyle change and eating correctly, and animal compassion and the planet because of me, because I am focused and unyielding, and I'm down this path. It's not going to change. So they know about it. So that means that everyone they know might know about it. And I don't say they will. They might know about it. In my family, 2 of the members have now, one's become vegan, one's become plant-based. So to me, those are the building blocks of our future. It just simply put, but it's a challenge. The challenge is, at least to me, when I think about this diverse world that we live in, is how do we resonate? What's the message that will go to people and say, wow, I what they're saying is correct. Today's my day to join. Today's my moment to make that difference and then steer my friends and my family into a better tomorrow. Because anyone who makes this choice today may never see the promised land of a better planet or compassion toward animals, because it's too big a mountain to climb. But you can't start climbing a mountain without that first step. And how do we get people from all over the world to take that first step for whatever reason that motivates them? Health reasons, animal reasons, planetary reasons. There's got to be. And the one thing you said, and I totally agree with you, is it's like if you said to somebody, okay, here's a bag of garbage. Just throw it out on the expressway, or just throw it on your neighbor. No one would do that, right? I mean, I would say the great majority of people would never do it. And then you said, okay, you eat meat, you eat chickens, you eat fish. Okay, here's a gun or here's a knife, and just kill your cat and dog. Just kill it. Nobody would do that. Nobody would do that. And here's the big one. How about if you said, I know that you're hurting. This is a little bit more geared to older people, but I've been kind of interested to see how many people over 60, how many of them, and I'm going to ask our group this very soon, are on medication, some type of medication. I would say the great majority of people are on some type of medication. And if you could say to them, do you like being on medication? Do you enjoy it? Isn't it kind of a downer? Like it is for me. I'm on one med and I never forget taking it. But when I take it, I'm like, oh man, I wish I didn't have to take it. It doesn't make me feel, it's not an uplifting moment. Okay. So I'd be curious, because if you go, I used to be on 4 medications and then I went plant-based and I got rid of 3. I kept one. And by the way, just so everyone knows, the one I kept, I really don't need. I'm just doing it because my cardiologist at the Cleveland Clinic said, hey, you're plant-based, so let's do a cholesterol shot. There's a really cool cholesterol shot that bypasses the liver, very little, if any, side effects. And I've been let's use the best of both. So the kind of the elixir of both has brought my cholesterol down to, ready, 44. Okay. I mean, yeah. So I'm like, okay, you're right. Yeah, I'm down with it. So I'm just kind of curious to see that if you were to say to people, how would you like to get off those meds? I mean, let alone the cost, the mental stress of it, and like that is what we are all trying to do, is how do we get to that person? Doesn't matter, big, small, black, white, religion, doesn't matter. Background, doesn't matter. Education, doesn't matter. How do we get those people to understand that you're not going to throw trash out, you're not going to kill your dog, you're on medication you can get off of? What's it take? What's it take?
And it's interesting because, like, I find most Americans haven't traveled enough. So I encourage you to get out of the country and see some other cultures, because I think that helps you even open up that diversity realization to a degree. Like, we respect stoplights in America. Like, most people stop at a red light, and you go to certain countries and red lights are optional on a lot of levels. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's the thing. Like, so I know as Americans, we do pretty much respect the garbage rules and certain things, that unless you're in a bad neighborhood and you see other garbage, and then you're like, okay, it's okay to throw my garbage here. It really shouldn't be, but we still do it. But yeah, I agree with you, Paul. Like, you're onto it there for sure. So Meryl, we went off tangent a little bit, but bring us back in.
You see what happens when I leave the room? You see
That's
how this
right.
goes?
Welcome back. We need you here.
Yeah, thank
You guys
God
are so
for
fun.
you.
You are so fun. Well, before I bring us back, we have Peggy Krause just arrived backstage. So I'm going to bring her in and she can contribute to our conversation.
Love it.
Yeah. Hey, Peggy, come on in.
One of my favorites.
That's
Nice
right.
to be here. Thank
Hi.
you.
Hi, Peggy.
Yeah,
Hi,
so glad
Bryan.
you're
Nice
here.
to see you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
How's
So
everybody doing today?
we are,
We're doing great.
yes. What I want us to do, though, before we go any too much further, Peggy, please introduce yourself, and then we can pick up the conversation where we left off.
Yeah, so Peggy Krause. I am, let's see, an exercise physiologist, and I'm certified in diabetes, and I am certified to teach plant-based nutrition. I've been on this plant-based journey now for 17 years, and it is, I'm still learning every day, right?
Yeah.
Learning every day. Yeah, I live in New York, married to a commercial fisherman. That conversation gets very interesting sometimes. But that is what he does. And I have two boys. They're in their 20s. And yeah, I work in cardiac rehab. I've been there for 27 years. So between helping people with cardiac disease, never have another heart attack again, to reversing diabetes, my spiel.
Nice.
Love it. Love
Well,
it. And you also support us at the plant-based group in a big way. And I've known Peggy for a while, and she's the real deal, people. She is the real deal.
Thank you for that endorsement. Yeah, it's been fun being part of PBNSG and now the Alliance. So I'm in.
Oh, love it.
so today we are talking about diversity and how it shows up in what we do and how it shows up in how we move the message forward. So one thing I wanted to bring up was Peggy is in healthcare, as am I. And one thing we see in healthcare a lot is a sort of lack of diversity in so many different ways, right? Now there's the obvious layer, of how, lack of racial diversity. But there's also this other curious thing that happens where the, highest level decision making that happens in healthcare is often led by a physician or a healthcare provider of some kind, right? A licensed provider. I see that as a challenge when we're looking for new and fresh and innovative approaches to problem solving. Peggy, do you have any observations in that arena?
Oh yeah. The first thing that comes to mind is that I think because the physicians are so concerned with following the guidelines to CYA that they don't veer from the guidelines. I can remember being at Montefiore Hospital before COVID. Dr. Ostfeld,
Friend.
yeah, oh, he's great, right? He organized for a couple of years a plant-based conference, and he had a panel of Joel Kahn, who was there, Colin Campbell, Essie was there. Like there were 4 or 5 cardiologists. Well, actually, Campbell's not a cardiologist. Anyway, I got up to the microphone and I said, well, why is it that my clients who go from a cholesterol of 240 to 140 and you can't take them off the statin meds? And he said to me, if it goes against the guidelines, we won't do it. Right? So that here are the guys who know the research and they won't do it. So I can imagine that somebody who else doesn't know the research and how protective a plant-based diet is, right? That they don't do it. Yeah, I had a conversation with a cardiologist way at the beginning when I was started with the plant-based diet. And I said, why don't you tell your patients about this? Oh, nobody's going to do it. I don't bother. So I agree that when the physician sets the tone, the treatment, the treatment modes,
Yeah,
it doesn't change.
Yeah.
Meryl, do you find the same?
absolutely. Not only are there guidelines, that's the first layer of the reasoning, But just beneath that is if they don't follow the guidelines, and oh my goodness, truly, if something awful happened, then they would have their bare fanny swinging in the breeze. And with this country being litigious the way it is, well, there's a fear, right? That something awful, really awful could happen. Like I could lose my license or my livelihood. That's what happens among doctors, right? What I also see, though, is that there are other people in the healthcare team, like, let's say, exercise physiologists or nurses or physical therapists or other dietitians who may have other, like deep plant-based knowledge. It could even be medical assistants. It could be anybody in the healthcare team that could have some great idea or perspective to contribute. But a lot of times we're kind of not invited into the conversation. It's led by the doctor. The doctor has their particular points of view, whatever their history, baggage, and education says, and it goes from there. And it winds up leaving the patients on the standard American diet, standard American medicine path.
Let me just, if I could, I want a lot of good thoughts going on, interesting things. Two very quick stories. When the plant-based nutrition support group was started, we started at Beaumont Hospital, and we had 123 people at our first meeting inside the hospital, 142 on our second meeting, and 2 days before the third meeting, we got kicked out. And I wondered for years why would they do that? Now they said the room wasn't big enough, but they did have a bigger room. It turned out that they were standard American diet hospital. And here we were talking about plant-based nutrition.
I just had a baby. I was at the hospital for 2 days, and I stole the menu just to show you what's like.
Bro,
I just cannot believe I'm at this hospital delivering a baby, and they have no plant-based options other than really bad oatmeal. That's it. Really bad oatmeal.
You know what? My second little small story was November of last year, unbeknownst, I got angina again. And the angina was because of the lipoprotein little a that no one knew much about, if any. And I had to get a stent put in me. And in my recovery, they served me food. I could not eat anything on the plate. And to me, it's like everyone knows that eating whole food plant-based is the healthiest way to live a life on many different levels. Animals, planet, people. And yet the very place that you go to for recovery is feeding you the food so they can make sure that they see you again soon. And until we do well care visits and pay doctors for healthy customers, patients, then it's just a revolving door where the four of us have to just accept the fact that not one of us could take on the hospitals. I wanted to do a class action suit at hospitals and doctors and med schools, but I only got a couple $100 at the bank. I don't think I could afford it. But my point here is that has to change. That has to change because the four of us and the Sage Circle Alliance founding members and the other members who are joining in, we're just going to be doing one person at a time where they could make a world of difference, and they don't. And Bryan, yeah, that menu.
Unbelievable. Tell us what's on the menu, Bryan. What was available?
Like without even prompting, the first meal shows up, and I take the lid off the beautiful little bowl, and it's scrambled eggs with cheese and a side of bacon. And I'm just like, that's it. No vegetables, no nothing. No. I was just blown away that all three of those are meat products right from the first meal. But yeah, Monday is scrambled eggs, bacon, oatmeal, oranges. Tuesday is pancakes with syrup, bacon, oatmeal, and diced pears. Wednesday, scrambled eggs and bacon and oatmeal again. Thursday's French toast. Friday's scrambled eggs. Saturday's scrambled egg. That's all breakfast. Lunch was braised beef, chicken salad sandwich, chicken chili, farm fresh egg salad, Italian style meatloaf. I mean, it's just, I was just blown away looking through it. Like, I know it's a smaller hospital and stuff, but it's very, very surprising that almost any restaurant I go to in America, I can find a vegan option right now. And yet I go to the hospital where, like Paul said, we're supposed to have promote health, wellness, well-being, and help you. And they have no vegan options whatsoever other than extremely horrible. And I kind of was prepared for that. I brought my snack bag. I brought my little array of accoutrements that I take with me. You know, I have my nutritional yeast to sprinkle on some stuff, but I was surprised that I actually had to leave the hospital grounds to go and find some healthy food and bring it back.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. My husband had a heart attack just about a year ago, a little more than a year ago. And, you know, that's a whole thing all by itself. But for him to go to the hospital, have the emergency cardiac cath, go through all that, come out the next morning, it's time for breakfast. And it's very much what you just described. That's what was available in the hospital. I was livid. I was already livid. How dare he have a heart attack? First of all, that was the first thing. I was mad about that. Yeah. But then to realize that the hospital was not at all there to. I guess how it occurred to me was this should be illegal. This should be illegal that you're paying thousands, tens of thousands of dollars for care, cardiac care, emergency rides in ambulances and ICU visits and all this crap. And the first thing they give you is something that's known to cause heart trouble. Like, how is that even? How is an insurance company even allowing that to happen? That is a mystery to me.
Every day at the hospital where I work, at 2:00, they have determined that it is quiet time, that there's an announcement overhead, it's quiet time, please be respectful of blah, 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 because resting is healing. And I always want to shout out, I sort of under my breath, I tell like my coworkers, yeah, but if you walk into the cafeteria, there are mounds of fried chicken. Let's start there first. Never mind the quiet time. That's good, but clearing the fried chicken out of the vats in the cafeteria at the lunch line, that would be even better.
Right.
Hey, Peggy, you know what I find funny about that too is it's like doctors and nurses are scientists at heart, right? I mean, they're science people, right?
Yeah.
And you can't argue about the science of a whole food, plant-based meal lifestyle is it's healthy. That's what the science has proven. So what I don't get is if that's and then you or Bryan or Meryl or I, we talk about it and we're shunned. Like, oh my God, what you must be crazy. Like, there's something wrong with you because I got to have this and this and this and I'm like, okay, but I say this to doctors. You know, we did a big thing called Doctors Teaching Doctors. We had plant-based doctors teaching doctors, and it was pretty funny because you'd see these doctors come in and they'd say, Paul, I've been I'm plant-based, and I'd look at this guy and he was about 40 pounds overweight. I go, no, one guy, I poked his belly. No, you're not. You know what I'm saying? You're not. Okay, let's be honest. You're not. Well, I'm trying. Like, you know, so again, why it's not in medical schools? Why isn't that the first thing a doctor says to the patient? What are you eating? Tell me what you eat and let's work on that. But no, what we'll do is we'll give you a pill. If that doesn't work, we'll get 20 other pills that you could choose from. That has to change. But again, you know, how do you get change? You know, one at a time. I'm looking around. Bryan's got our best hope because he's the youngest one here. So it's your responsibility to change the world. Okay, Bryan?
I'll do my best, but I need your help, everybody.
So. Hey, congratulations, a baby, huh?
Yes, thank you.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
A new baby. Will you be raising that baby whole food plant-based?
I am going to certainly do my best, but I do live in a mixed household, so we have some uphill battles here and there on certain fronts, but we will certainly give it a try.
Hey, Peg, you know, the cool thing is that whether Yulia is or not, she will know the benefits of a
100%.
vegan or a plant-based whole food lifestyle. And to me, if nothing else, that's what keeps me kind of going every day, is that at least in our generation, mine, Peggy, you know, and Meryl's, we talk about it. People now know about it. Now, very few do anything about it until it's like last ditch effort, but they know about it because growing up, I was a meat and potato guy because that's what my mom served me every day.
Yeah.
So
She's been alive for over a week now, and she's been vegan since birth. So we'll see if we can keep that going.
Right.
you're on a roll, buddy. You're on a
Okay, I
roll.
got a question. Can you consider human breast milk vegan? Oh,
Yeah, I guess you're
Oh.
absolutely right, but I don't see why that one isn't the right
it
answer.
is. No question. It's the right one.
Yeah, right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, you know, just because we can, it sounds like we may all have something like this in common. Speaking of diversity, now within my household for a long time, we were a mixed household, right? I was plant-based, husband was not. Of the three of the rest of the three of you, who is in that same situation?
I'm in a diverse home.
Yes.
She's improved, but diverse.
Okay. And Peggy?
Yeah. So my husband, when we're home, he eats what I make, and there's no meat, there's no cheese. When we go out, he eats fish. Once in a while, he'll have a hamburger just because he thinks that he's a man and he needs it.
Of course.
Whatever.
Of course.
And but I have two boys, so they're in their 20s. Lucas is my 25-year-old, and when I first started this, 2007, he and I was so strict. I'm like, all right, there'll be no pizza, there'll be no McDonald's, that we're getting rid of the sippy cups full of chocolate milk. This is the way we're eating. They hated it. Everybody hated it because I was hardcore. So anyway, Lucas, all like 9 years old of him or whatever he was, stands up on the dining room chair and he puts his arms up. Why does everything have to be so healthy? It took him about 12 years, and now he is more vegan than I am. He's so vegan that he doesn't eat honey. He doesn't eat anything with gelatin. Like, I don't pick those items either, but if I find out that there was honey in my bread or whatever, like, I don't make a big deal out of it. So yeah, exactly. This is the same kid. My other son, well, he's a work in progress because he lives on not on campus, but he's up at school and he's a wrestler and he's got to do this, whatever. So I don't bother him. But he definitely knows where his food comes from. When he wants a chicken something or other, like, do you know that chicken suffered so that you can have dinner? That's not right. Like, I tell him like it is. So maybe he'll come around one day.
My kids get the full dose of that as well on that front, and I think, like you, like if I cook and I have the time to do that, then they eat it and they don't complain or nothing. But when they're on their own devices, they do what they do on that front and gravitate towards their chicken nuggets and stuff. But I think the thing that bothers me the most about all that is I don't. I hope we can all reduce the amount of meat that we take in, and we can't turn them all vegan. But if we can get you to eat vegan at least 2 or 3 days a week, we can save the planet. I hope on that front. But then the thing to me is we grow it and we give them their chicken nuggets or their chicken or their steak or whatever, and then they don't finish it, and then we throw it out. And that's the one that really, really bothers me. Not only did that animal suffer and die, but then you didn't even eat it all, and we just threw it out. And so that was a complete life cycle of nothing on that front. So,
the other thing too is that, in the years of being plant-based, the one thing I think that could change things, and I tried it with one of my sons who is plant-based about 5-6 years ago, is a fast food plant-based restaurant. We had the name, we had the chefs, but like everything on this planet, we needed more funding to make it happen. But the fact is that it's that convenience, because most families now, both people are working, and we've got to create a little bit more convenience, because for somebody to make a lifestyle change and both parents are working, that's another job in and of itself, is to say, because you got to plan. Even me personally, I don't value food that much, but I value it when I run out of food and I'm having a salad for the fourth time in a day. I just sometimes forget. So, like, I need to plan. I look at the weather. If it's a rain day, one day during the week, I shut everything down and I'm cooking for 4 or 5 hours, and I'm batch cooking. So we've got to create a more convenient way to consume health. That's what we got to do.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
maybe even more. I mean, because I think that there are many easy options. It's that the unhealthy option is the easier option, or it's the one that's right in front of them. So I agree, yeah, that we need to make it easy and
But I see,
obnoxiously
do you remember though, growing up and getting an orange and like struggling with it, and how do I get this silly orange open? And now you got these things and they self peel themselves. Like, I feel like even the fruits and the vegetables have been made so much easier since when we were a kid. So
How
like
about a
the
strawberry?
convenience is there. You have to buy it and you have to
Right.
put it on the counter instead of the candy bar or the
How about the
whatever it
size of
is.
strawberries? That scares me. Here's the size of a strawberry,
Yes.
right? I mean, it's crazy. When I look at blueberries, they used to be like little. Now they're like this. I mean, I have to admit, it just scares me. Like, I'll eat it versus a meat thing, but I eat less of it, because I just, like, how can you be a strawberry? You look like a pear.
Right. I think another thing, I'm going to go back to the make it easy conversation. One of the things that I see is we have been sold convenience as a commodity, right? It's not. So instead of talking about how healthy a food is or what you're going to get out of eating this food, it's the convenience factor that's sold. Or it's the, it's more fun factor, or people are going to love you more factor. And that's what sells food. So that's what, when kids see a Coca-Cola commercial or a McDonald's commercial or any kind of fast food, what they're looking at is not necessarily how the food tastes. They're looking at whatever that advertising is that makes it attractive and alluring, right? And the convenience thing is massive. Went to gas station yesterday and pulled up. I was going to run in the convenience store part to pay for the gas, and pulled up next to I'm going to assume an adult male and a young boy child, right? Sitting in the car eating. It was a big donut, some kind of fried chicken thing, I'm thinking, some roasted potato thing, I'm guessing, and the two of them were having just a time, talking and going all this and doing all that. And I thought, my goodness, what are you between? Where are you coming from and where are you going, that this is the meal of choice? So interesting that's just it's normal in our culture. It's standard in our culture. If you ask a kid, what did you have for dinner last night? It is nothing to say, we went to McDonald's and ate in the car. Very different from how a lot of us grew up, certainly by the time you get to our age. The way we grew up is very
yeah.
It's so interesting because I feel like I live in this plant-based world. I work from home. I'm blessed to work from home. I cook my own food, and everything around me is plant-based to the degree. And then I have this moment where I go to the hospital and I realize, oh, the world isn't like me. It's just like this giant dose of truth slapping you across the face,
Yes.
going, it still hasn't changed. Like I thought it should have changed more by now on that front. So I know I have to drop soon. So I just want to say
Okay.
thank you
Very
for
good.
having me.
Great seeing
Great
you.
to see you
Brian.
guys.
Thanks for being here. Thanks,
With the
Bryan.
website. Awesome with the website. That's beautiful.
Yes, for sure. Go check out our website, see Bryan's team's work, at sagecirclealliance.org. I can actually put that up right here, right now, so you can see it. Definitely.
And here's one thing about Bryan. I said to him, well, Bryan, I'm pretty inept on the tech side. So if I need help, can I call you? He goes, yes. And guess what? He calls back.
He's actually available.
He's available.
Do my best. I do my best.
Right.
Thanks for having me, team. Appreciate all we're doing here, and look forward to seeing more people join the Sage Circle Alliance and helping us change the world.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bryan.
Bye, Bryan.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Peggy.
Yeah.
I got this new idea. Let's create a fast food restaurant and we'll serve Happy Meals.
Yes.
We'll call it Happy Meal.
Wow.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
There's actually, what did you just say, Meryl?
That's brilliant.
It is brilliant. But there's a gal doing it. She has, I'm trying to remember. It's something like, not stinky, but something like some, I'll think of it. But I heard about it on Guy Raz's podcast, How I Built This.
Yeah.
She grew up vegan, and she wanted to make a fun vegan restaurant. She did, and it's like taken off. I wish I could think of what it is, but anyway.
Hey, by the way, when I forget things, and I do it all the time, next thing I think is, don't worry, it'll come to me. And so I give my permission not to be mad that onset dementia is hitting me. And guess what? It always comes back most of the time. But yeah, when we talk about diversity, Meryl, it could be diversity with where you go to eat. Diversity is such a wide subject. And, again, I think the important thing is more of the quality of the person, the quality of the place I'm going to. That's the thing that to me resonates. I really, it was very difficult in my life that I grew up. I was a sports guy, and I had like 8 buddies that we played football and baseball and basketball together from high school. And I love them. But about 6-7 years ago, there were 2 or 3 of them that were just a hot mess. Weight was gaining. They were on millions of pills. They were not happy. And I serve a plant-based dinner every Wednesday and or Thursday for my friends. I just thought, hey, if, these guys need to eat this food and they love it. I can't say I love it as much as I used to because it's taken a lot of time and I'm a little busy. But point being, because when they're done, I got to batch cook the next day because I'm out of food. But I had to look at a couple of them and said, listen, I can't have you keep coming over and spending the entire evening complaining about what ails you and not do anything about it. So either make some changes, and we encourage you to do it. We'll support you. Or I don't want you over. I'm sorry. It's my one night a week to enjoy and think back and laugh with friends. But it becomes kind of like I'd come in the house at the end of the night when everyone left, and my wife would say, you look exhausted. And I go, yeah, so-and-so was not really good again. So that to me, part of that diversity is the circle of the people that you keep.
Yeah.
And that's where, I'm very blessed because both at the Sage Circle Alliance and without question at the Plant-Based Nutrition Support Group, you look at all of our hosts and, every one of them is like-minded like us. And everyone who's joined the Sage Circle is pretty much like-minded. And that's how you build something with like-minded, passionate people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And within the Alliance, there's certainly diversity, right? We are all interested in the same things. We all have the same desire to make a difference for human health and animal compassion and planetary health. And you can mix those up any way you want, and some people there's a spectrum within that also, right? There's people who are maybe a bit more conservative or reserved, I'll say, about how they do it. So we have people who are no salt, no oil, no sugar. We have people who are just raw vegan, right? And then we have people on the other end who are, they like salads, but they're also interested in having, plant-based desserts and, lattes with sugar. And I might be that person. I don't know. Um, so
I'm the dessert person.
Yeah,
yeah.
I give myself like a couple exceptions a month. Like I will have a latte once a week. And I have to admit, if I'm a good boy, I get to treat myself to a latte.
Yep, and the latte is still made with oat milk or almond milk or soy
Yeah,
milk.
oh yeah, yeah.
whatever the
It's
thing
not
is, right?
anything but soy milk in this case. But Peg, it's funny. I was on a mission this past 6 months, and I needed to create my own dessert that I would like every day. And I worked on it, and it was like I could have gone the date route, but by the time I had so many dates in my cookie, it was full of sugar, right? So that wasn't going to work. And I'm proud to say that I have, okay, ready? Perfected the oatmeal raisin cookie. And what I love about it is you keep like, I don't know, I usually at night, whatever I eat, then at night I'll have 2 cookies, just 2. And but they freeze for like a month.
Wow.
So that's my happy meal and my happy cooking day, when I can make like 50 cookies, knowing I'll keep 10, I'll freeze 40, and I'm good for a month. But I think that's some of the secrets, is just having that, because I grew up loving sweets. I used to kiss the Hershey Kissies. Used to kiss them. Oh, I love you.
There were days my mother, when we had company, and my mother would go to the bakery and she would get 2 different layer cakes, and it was okay for me to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner cake.
Yes.
With soda.
Oh,
Yes.
Love you, Mom, but I don't know.
Hey, when we're talking about that, just because we're off kilter a little bit, but I'd go to a restaurant before I went plant-based, and I was a Coca-holic, like Coca-Cola-aholic.
Okay.
And I go to the restaurant, and the guy said, "What do you want to drink?" I said, "Well, light ice, because I could steal ice out of my water if I needed more, but give me 3 of them, just because you're going to refill me 2 more times. Let's give it to me to begin with."
Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, again,
Awful.
know what I did? What?
Coke is awful. Like, it tastes horrible, right?
Well, hey, one man's treasure is another man's treasure, like whatever,
Yeah, if you're that deep.
I like the
go
bite.
ahead.
That was the thing. I like the bite of the Coke. The sugary part of it was, I thought Pepsi was a little bit stronger and sugary than Coke, but I like the bite of it. But again, it was just so funny when you're saying that you'd have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, your cakes. That Coke, I would just line them up, because I really like them. So it's funny how we change. And now it's hilarious, because in this bowl I want to show people. I don't think let's see if we can see it. I've got like 4 little black beans left, and that's my lunch. I had salad for breakfast. And it's funny how if you just say, "Hey, I want to live this way so I could live a better way," you do it.
Right.
But that's the thing too, by the way, Peg, isn't it something, Meryl? Like, I wish I could give everyone, come on over to my house, stay in my house. Let me cook for you for 2 months, 60 days. And we'll test you on the front end. We'll test you on the back end. I like having fun. And we'll just do cool things. We'll go for walks. We'll do things. We'll have fun. In between, we'll eat right. And oh my God, if they could just do 60 days, their taste buds would change. They would still eat some food that they like. But the health benefits, they would have to sit there, and everyone would have to say, "Oh my God, I feel good, and I'm 65, and I feel great."
Yeah.
I just wish that we could do, because I think that would jumpstart people eating better.
Yeah.
To experience it.
Yeah.
So.
Great.
That is the challenge. People, it's hard to imagine changing everything about the way you eat. Especially if what you've been eating for a long, long time is meat and potatoes, or like I'm here in Wisconsin, cheese and brats, man. Give me that sausage. That's how that's the structure of the eating. Yeah, the whole eating thing here is interesting. Yeah.
Well,
we are right at the top of the hour, so we are going to wrap it up.
Love you, Peg.
Go on today and call it over.
Yes. Peggy, love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Every
Both
time
of
I
you.
see you, I feel good about myself, and I'm happy to see you, Carol.
Terrific. Thank you for being a fan, and thank you for having me here. I love how SCA, it was a bunch of sort of pieces that were floating in the air, and it just came all together, and like, we're there now.
Hey,
Yeah.
wait till we have a meeting. So anybody, join the SCA today, so you could be part of a possible meeting that we're gonna have monthly meetings. We have one for our founding members on Monday. But Peg, hold on to your seat because I'm gonna be talking deep on Monday.
Something to look forward
We're
to.
gonna be talking deep because we
What's
have to
going on? Wait,
eat, plan, sleep, repeat. Oh, I
Yep.
love it.
PBNSG.
But everybody, look at Peg. Look at Peg. Thin to win, baby. You are tight, thin. You like that's
Thank you.
living. That's
Thank
living.
you. I have to say, I lost 30 pounds.
Wow.
It looks great.
Thank you. I never thought that I needed to lose 30 pounds. All right, maybe 5 or 10, but it just kept coming off.
Yeah. Well,
So-
it's kind of cool too because it comes off and then it levels. It's funny because I weigh 235. I weigh 170. Okay. I've leveled it there. I honestly, God, I'd like to lose another 10 pounds, but my wife's like, don't you do it. I like to grab onto something, right? So I'm like, okay, you're the boss. Okay, whatever you want. But so I'll eat a couple more potatoes or a little more carbs.
Oh,
But point being is that it's so cool how you lose it and then it levels. And then I also say, look at people's faces. Like, it's amazing. I mean, like, you look, everyone here is so healthy. And you could see it in their face. I had a guy come over to do a little bit of work at the house. And I'm like, Dave, I don't care that he's 80 pounds overweight. His face was like gaunt and colorless. And I'm like, bro, who's your backup? Like, just tell me what's your backup plan? Hey, maybe that's my new thing now, Meryl. If somebody's like crazy unhealthy, I'm like, hey, just what's your backup? Who's your backup? Where did you know that person?
It's like Dr. Furman says, if you don't like vegetables, you better live close to a hospital.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Wow.
That's so true.
That's right.
He's so upfront. Like,
Yeah, he is. He does not pull any punches at all, ever.
Well, why should we?
Well,
Yeah.
there is that. Where
Why
does
should
pulling
we?
punches get you? Where does walking around on, tiptoeing around issues and dancing around the elephant in the room, where does that get us?
Well, you do it with kindness. You always like I'm straight with people, but I'm not gonna be a jerk. Like, I'm not gonna like hurt their feelings, but I will. If they ask me a question, I will give them the answer.
That's
But
it.
I used to solicit. I used to do it on my own all the time. Now I don't solicit it like I used to. I just if you got a question, because I'm a billboard. Peggy's a billboard. Meryl's a billboard. We're walking billboards of health.
can I show you my billboard? He just walked through the door. Hey,
Yeah.
Lucas. Oh, he just walked out the door. Oh,
Yeah.
darn. Wait. Sorry. Maybe for next time I can bring him on.
Next time.
Love
Definitely.
to have you.
He's actually a personal trainer, boxing instructor. Wait a minute. Lucas, are you there? Nah. Oh, well.
Okay.
Next time.
Next time.
Next time.
So,
All right. Well, Peg, thank you.
thank you both.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You guys check us out at sagecirclealliance.org. Check out the membership. Check out the whole website. There's something there for
Fabulous.
everybody. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye, all.
See you tomorrow.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.